Hi, so in this video I'll go over again on how to randomly select a name from the list. So now you have the 10 names on the list here. How do I randomly select a name out of this list? We are using a function called the index function. And before we apply the formula, let's learn on how this function works. Make sure that when you are using Excel with the formula, you need to type the equal sign in front of that. The index function will take 3 arguments. Okay, 3 arguments. The first argument, the first spot, you need to enter your data. Okay, you need to enter your data, and then the second list. The second argument, you need to input which row from the data that you want to pick out or extract the value out. And then the last argument is which column. Okay, so the index will extract the value from the row of your data and then display that to the cell that you are inputting the formula. Okay, so we have 3 arguments here. Okay, so the data is easy. All you have to do is you drag the list here to input your data, or it's just equal to A1 up to A10. So your data is from A1 up to A10. Okay, so this is the list of your data, column A, row 1 up to A10. Now let's try that. If you are using Excel, put the equal sign and then index, and you can just use the mouse and drag the whole list of data. So that's how you enter the first arguments. Which row to pick? Now from the 10 rows that we have here, the index will pick a random row out and then display the name. Now because you want to randomly select a row, so you don't want to enter a row on the second spot here, right? So we have row 1 up to row 10. So which row do you want to take it out and display the name? Remember, the goal of this assignment is to randomly select a row. Therefore, you want this number to be random from 1 up to 10 from the list. A random row 1 up to row 10. So it will be row 1 up to row 10. So how do I do that? So for which row, you want a random row 1 to row number 10. So the way we do that is we can use the ran between. Ran between is a function that will return a random number between the lower and the upper value, right? So your lower value is row number 1. Your upper value is up to row 10. So it will return a random number between 1 and 10, or a random row between row 1 and row 10, and it will place it here. This is the sort list, so you can count 10 items, 10 rows. But what happens if the list is a long list? Then it is difficult to count the row, or if we have the empty spots in between. So the best way to count how many rows that you have here, to put it in the second argument, all you do is we are using counter. Counter is a function. So make sure you open and close it. Counter is a function to count how many rows that you have on a particular selecting data. So counter we are counting from again row 1 up to row A10. Okay, so it will return you 10 rows, just like you enter the number 10s, but this is the general formula. So now you're gonna copy the whole thing and putting it here. So that means your second argument is a random row. So the index will go inside your data, select a random row, and then display that value, that data, to the cell that you are typing the formula. The last argument is which column. This is the first column, right? We only have one column, so that is the first column from the data. And then we close everything. And that will give you a random name from the list of 10 names here. So let's try it here. Go back here. So we have the data. The next one is with row. We use a ran between function, right? So the bottom number is we stack from row 1 up to, we are counting how many rows, so I use the function counter. Make sure that I drag the whole list of data again, close the counter formula, and make sure we still have the ran in between formula, so make sure you close that. Okay, and then the last one is which column, the first column, and then close the whole index formula. So it will display a random name. In this case, Kevin, the last one. Now, if you enter somewhere on the spreadsheet a random input and then hit the enter, then the whole Excel spreadsheet will recalculate the formula again, and it will give you a different random name. Or you can just pressing F9 on the formula, it will again. Okay, so this is only one name that we are extracting from the list. What happens if I want to extract, if I input somewhere else a number and I hit the enter, then the whole thing recalculate again, and you see that all of them are different. You never get the same thing again. Okay, so after you assign each name to a random value, then we can use a function called the rank. The rank, this is a function, will return a rank of the number comparing to the whole list. So let's say that we have 10 values here, and you want to compare this value, right, this data, to the whole list, to the whole 10 numbers. So the way we do this, we use a rank function. We click on the data, comma, and then we drag the whole list, because you want to compare the value of B1 to the whole set of data. And close that. Okay, so this value here is the position number 8 out of the 10. Okay, so this is almost the smallest value of the 10 value, because this is the position number 8. Now if I press somewhere else, I hit the enter key, then it will recalculate again. So now this value is number 2 from the list. We have 10 value. This is the second highest value from the list. Okay, and now this is the highest value, the biggest value from the list, 0.99 something, and you can see that is true, right? 0.98, but this is 0.99, the highest value. Now if I drag the whole thing down, let's do the second one. Okay, I'll get the rank for the second value, but be careful. This rank here is only comparing the value of B2 to the list of from B2 to B11. Again, the index is moving 1 unit downward as I drag the formula, and it doesn't include the first value, so the data is not correct, right? So that's why we have to put a dollar sign to prevent that to be changed as we drag the formula. So I want to make sure that I want to compare the current value to the whole set of data. And now if I drag it down, then this value is comparing the value of B4, the current value, to the whole set of data from B1 up to B10. So make sure I use the dollar sign from the first cell, and then I drag that all the way down. And you can see that we have, this is the highest value. 1, 2 is here, 3 is here, 4 is here, 5 is here. So each name has one unique rank, one unique position. They are all different. No names have the same value of the number here. They are all at random. Okay, so I hit enter again, it will be changing. Enter again, it will be changing. So you see that this column now is the random column of number, and we don't have any number that is repeated. Now we are ready to extract the value using the index formula. Okay, so again, the index formula, it has three arguments. The first one is the data. I drag the whole data. Which row? Again, I need the random row. So now I select the row of this one, right? Because this name is position number 7, so I select this one. And because this is a random number, and then which column? Which is column number 1, and then I hit the enter. And now if I drag the whole thing down here for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 name, now you see there's some error, so make sure you have to fix this again. Again, your data need to be A1 to A10, so you need to fix the data. Put a dollar sign in, and now drag it again, and they are all different. Okay, A1 to A10 the data, and then the C column, the second argument is the random value from the position, and then hit the enter. Or the C1 here, you can just use the rank formula, the rank. If you don't want to click on the cells here, then use the rank formula, and the rank of this one comparing to the whole list, right? And then that's all. And make sure that, oops, compare to the rank of the whole list. Make sure that you you are using the dollar sign. The dollar sign here to prevent the B1 and B10 to be changed as we drag the formula down. Same thing. And now you see that we all have 5 different names. Do it again. 5 different names. Do it again. 5 different names, because the numbers here, they are all different. That's why you never get the same names. Okay, 5 different names, and that's how we extract different values and prevent to have the same name. Okay, and that is the end of this tutorial of chapter 1, how to extract random names, random value from the list.